Hello, good evening and welcome back to another small short tutorial video on the notion of the switch decision construct within programming. Most programming languages support the switch statement, and obviously what you need to do is realize when you would use the switch statement versus its alternative, i.e. the if, else, and basically that comes back to what I stated before about any new concept. Ask yourself three questions: why, how, and what. Why? Why are we using this basic concept? We're using it to help us decide a branch off within a program. How? We will show that in a few minutes time. And what? The specifics of that. Now I will extend obviously into more advanced settings in a second video, but I just want to go through the simple settings of a switch statement initially. I suppose one big question would be is that if we do have the if, else, if and so forth like that, why do we need the switch? The switch statement is particularly good if you have distinct possibilities. It is very, very good if you know that there's about 3 or 4 or whatever, but very, very distinct possibilities that will occur, as opposed to, let's say, that you're looking for numbers within a range. If, let's just say, if I wanted to see if a person's age was a voting age, i.e. greater than 18, the switch statement would be kind of useless and redundant in doing that. You would possibly use it, well, there's no possibly about it, you would use an if age is greater than or equal to 18. The switch statement, in order to fall in, which we will see in a few minutes time, in order to fall into one distinct branch and go that distinct branch, you must fall, it must equal exactly, okay, as opposed to being greater than a range or less than or whatever like that. Okay, so I suppose the best thing to do is actually show an example. So looking here at my code, I've got a public class switch basics, and here on line 3, char letter is equal to A. The switch statement can be used on various data types, and up until Java 8 it couldn't be used on strings. Okay, I could be wrong there, but it was around that time. But anyway, I'm just going to use a very, very simple example to ascertain whether a letter is a vowel or not. And I might extend on this in the second video. But looking at this one here, I've got char letter is equal to A. So I could do, okay, if I wanted to, I could do an if, okay, letter is equal to A, and do whatever I wanted to do, okay, print, okay, letter is A. Okay, now again, if it was a vowel scenario, okay, I could do obviously the second, else if, okay, and just being sneaky here, copy this, okay, if letter is equal to E, okay, and being very sneaky obviously, and what was I going to say, I'll just copy, and what was I going to say? Look, I'll just do Control C. Sorry for this now. Control C, Control V, okay, and letter is E. Okay, now these two, as I showed in a previous video, I could obviously extend it onto A, E, I, O, and U, and obviously then the last one will be, look, else. It's not a vowel, but it's SOUT. Letter is not a vowel. Okay, it's not a vowel. Okay, now obviously look there, look, I would put in code to catch I, O, and U. Obviously a bit ironic, I, O, U, some code, but you can see here, if I run this, okay, and if I build, okay, what was I going to say, build project, and then if I run it, okay, we can see here letter is A. Okay, now let's just say if I change that to, look, I'm not going to change it to I or U, but let's just say if it was R. Okay, and if I run this, okay, Shift F10, but if I just run that there, you can see letter is not a vowel. Okay, now I could leave it as an else if, but I could alternatively use a switch statement. So very, very quickly, what I will show is that. Okay, so I'm just going to, what was it going to say, code and comment with block comment. In other words, just get rid of that code for a split second. And it's a good practice, actually, as in a small aside. Don't ever delete code. If you're not going to use it, at least just comment it out. You just never know. Okay. Typically, what happens at the end stage before it goes to commercial release, it will be deleted anyway. So, for a switch statement, okay, what you have to do is put in the keyword switch. Okay, now what in the actual brackets here is the name of the variable that we are testing. So in this case here, we're doing a test on the variable letter. Okay, I called the character. Okay, I called it the variable which contains the value of A as letter. Okay, so what we actually need to do is letter. Now I could have called it donkey, I could have called it supersonic, I could have called it anything, but look, obviously for this case, call it letter. Also notice, important to notice, that it's in round brackets. So then if I put in a set of curly brackets, this will be just basically when we have evaluated the switch, we go into here. Okay, so what we actually need to do now is put in a case for each one of the eventualities. Each one of them. Now I'll show you in a few seconds that what if it's not the eventuality that you want. But we definitely know that there will be a case for A. Okay, and then what we must do, okay, is state case. Okay, the word case, the value, okay, if the letter is equal to A. Okay, then we put in the two dots, the colon. Okay, a semicolon is a dot and a comma. And then in the next line or whatever, if that is true, okay, what do we want to do? We could be calling a function, we could be doing anything. We could be branching off to another piece of code totally and utterly. But I suppose what I really want to do here is just basically say the letter is A. Okay. Now, what comes next is important. Okay. It's the keyword break. Okay. Break, which I will show in the next second video, is of vital importance. And you must put it in as soon as you're finished doing, okay, in this case, all what we're doing is printing out the value of the letter and so forth like that. But if you were to do a few more things, you'd put those in and then put in the keyword break. So then, okay, the second case. Case, okay, E. Okay, and semicolon, and SOUT, and blink, and the letter is E. Okay, and I'll just do break. Okay, and hold on a second now. Sorry, there now a second now. Code, format code. I just wanted to go there to code, just a small aside again, to kind of clean up the code by just clicking on reformat code. Now, obviously, look, I'm not going to do the rest of them totally and utterly out, but I could just copy and paste, you know what I mean? And I'll just put it in here. Look, put in cases for I, O, and U. Okay, look, I assume you will be able to do that. But there is one kind of special case, okay, that it's like the else in the if, else if, and then the else. So if neither of the above ones are hit, this one will be hit. So let's just say, okay, I'll just actually do this, just, you know what I mean, so that there is no, what was I going to say, confusion. Okay, I'll just, what was I going to say, copy, and Control V, okay, case E-I-O, okay, I-O, okay, I, but you, right, but an O, whoops, that's a 0, O, and just one last one, Control V, and U. Okay, now obviously here I am skipping out on the whole notion of doing uppercase letters. Okay, but just this one here, right, we have 5 cases there. I just wanted, you know what I mean, just to make sure, and I just bring this down a bit there, and we can see there that we have 5 cases there, okay, for A, E, I, O, and U. Okay, and I just put in here end of switch so that we don't lose that. But the last thing that we must put in, we don't necessarily need to put in, but in this case that the letter could be A, E, I, O, and U. But if it's any one of the other 21 letters in the English alphabet, it's obviously a consonant. Okay, so we could put in a case for each one of those 21 letters, or like what I said, we could put in a special case called default, which basically means if it's none of the above, this must be it. So if it's not one of the 5 vowels, it must be a consonant. Okay, letter is a consonant. Okay, now the important points are, okay, now I'll get rid of this comment here because obviously we don't need it, and it was a bit of a backtrack by me, but look, it's better to do probably things fully, and I'll just go here, code, and reform a code to clean that up. So we can see here char letter is equal to A. Okay, and we got our switch statement, and what was I going to say like that. So if I go to here, okay, and if I run it, okay, now obviously run and run that. Okay, we can see down here the letter is A. Okay, and then if I change this, okay, obviously look, you must test it. Okay, shift F10, the letter is I. Change it to Z. Okay, shift F10, the letter is a consonant. Okay, now if you wanted to, obviously, okay, we could embellish this by putting in the value of that letter. Okay, so in other words, if I press that again, the letter is a consonant. Okay, and if I run this code, okay, sorry, shift F10, not control F10. Okay, you can see there, okay, there was a small bit, okay, just spacing there. Run it again and run switch basics. The letter is a consonant Z. Okay, so that's the basics of the switch statement, but the more important parts are as follows. Number 1, the keyword switch. Number 2, the round brackets, and whatever you are evaluating is in those round brackets. Number 3, a set of curly brackets to basically state, okay, this is the start of the switch statement and this is the end of it, so I'll just kind of bring that up there. Okay, and anything in that is basically any of the eventualities that you want to cater for in the switch statement. So most of the eventualities, if you wanted to state, either as in this case or whatever, you would start off with the keyword case. Then you would have the value of whatever that is. Then you have the semicolon. Okay, sorry there. What was I going to say? That was a bit of a... Okay, you have the semicolon after that. Okay, sorry there, just... Okay. And then you have whatever you want to state, okay, if it is that case. Most of the times, you will have the keyword break after that case. You'll keep on going down and you'll follow each case as you want to do it. Maybe you might want to do different things in each case. And then at the very last one, if you want to put in, okay, if it's none of the above, but you still want to cater for, okay, it's none of the above, so it must be something else, you cover that with the notion of a default case. Now, there's no, all what you have is the keyword default, your semicolon, and that is it. Okay, system out of print line, this letter is a constant in this case. So basically in this switch statement, we're basically checking if it's either a vowel or if it's a consonant. Okay, so obviously I should have put in, look, it's a vowel and the letter is A, E, I, O, and U. Okay, but what I will do now in the second video is I will improve on this, but I will also to show the notion of what if we got rid of the word keyword break, and also the notion of follow through and positioning of the default statement as well. Okay, so hopefully this is some bit helpful. And what I will also do is place a few questions at the end of this video, and you should realistically try to just at least try them out, if anything, just for practice's sake. There'll be some theoretical and then there will be some practical. So without further ado, I thank you for your attention, and we'll see you in the next video. So bidding you adieu. Thank you very much. Goodbye.